My name is Clara, and for a long time, I truly believed I had everything a woman could wish for. A loving husband, Thomas, we met when I was 26. Handsome, attentive, intelligent. He knew how to listen, how to make me laugh, and more than anything, how to make me feel alive. We had our own house. Nothing fancy, but full of memories. We had painted the walls together, chosen every piece of furniture side by side. He still held my hand like the first day, still looked at me with tenderness, or so I thought. We didn't have children. Doctors had talked about fertility issues, but we made a promise. No baby, no problem. Our love was our family. And then one day, my sister called. Her daughter, Jade, 21, had just failed her university year. She needed a place to breathe, to think, to restart. And of course, I said yes. Without hesitation. I loved her like my own daughter. She arrived with her suitcases, her lost expression. And I was happy to help. But what I didn't see was that by opening my door to Jade, I was opening the door to the destruction of everything I had built. At first, it was small things. Quick glances between them. Laughter that felt a little too familiar. Odd silences whenever I walked into the room. But I told myself I was imagining things. That my husband loved me. That Jade respected me. So I closed my eyes. Until the night I heard them whispering in the living room after midnight. I'd gotten up to drink some water. Passing by the living room, I heard his voice. "You know you drive me crazy, right? We need to be more careful." Then hers, giggling, bold. "You're the one who said Clara would never notice." My heart froze. I walked away, silent. But that night, I didn't sleep. And I would never sleep the same again. From that night on, the one where I heard them whispering, I never again felt safe in my own home. But I said nothing. Not right away. Sometimes pain is so violent, it robs you of your voice. So I chose another weapon, silence. A strategic silence. Cold. Unnerving. Each morning, I served them breakfast like nothing had changed. Smiled at Jade, called her sweetheart, kissed Thomas on the cheek. Even though he might have just left her bed, I no longer trusted. But I didn't want to rely on suspicion alone. I needed proof. So I installed a small camera. Discreet. Hidden. Placed in the corner of the office where they often discussed her future. And what I saw, what I heard, broke something inside me. Touching. Kissing. Whispers he hadn't told me in months. Laughter. Clothes tossed aside. Bodies intertwined. On my couch. Right there, on my screen. I watched the footage, hands shaking. And in my mind, just one thought. They did it. They betrayed me. Together. But I didn't collapse. No. I smiled. Coldly. And said to myself, all right, now I get to write the next chapter. I organized a dinner. My parents were invited. So were Jade's, my sister, my brother-in-law, and of course, my dear husband. I served the food, then dessert, then, over coffee. I turned on the TV and said, I have a short film to show you. Something very personal. The video played. Faces froze. Silence fell. You could hear a fly stop buzzing. My sister screamed. My brother-in-law smashed his cup on the floor. My mother stood up, trembling. My father started crying. Jade was mute, pale, and Thomas tried to deny it. It's not what it looks like. I stared him in the eye. You're sleeping with my niece, and you dare to speak. Then I added, pack your things. Everything's in my name. You and your mistress, out. He left that night with a backpack. She was disowned by the entire family. No university, no money, no roof. They moved into a tiny studio in a bad neighborhood. No furniture, no future. 3 weeks later, Thomas lost his job. His boss, a friend of my father's. As for Jade, she found out she was pregnant. Karma, a word we often say without truly believing it. But I saw it in action, and what it did to Jade, I couldn't have imagined even in revenge. After their public humiliation, they fled the house like thieves. She held her small suitcase, tears in her eyes. He avoided looking at me, teeth clenched. They moved into a damp little studio. One room, no heat, no plans. And yet, she got pregnant. I found out through a mutual friend. She still hoped, poor thing, that the baby would fix everything. But at 5 months, disaster, severe pain, bleeding, emergency room, and then the cruel words, non-viable fetus. She lost everything. The baby, her dream of motherhood, and part of her mental health. She cried for nights, stopped eating, shut herself off. Thomas, unable to handle it, drifted away. One night, he simply didn't come home. He'd gone to see another woman. When she found out, her mind broke. She swallowed an entire box of pills, found unconscious by a neighbor, rushed to the hospital. She survived, but she was never the same again. Now, she lives with her mother. Constant monitoring, medication, nightmares. She thought she could steal my life, and ended up losing hers. Thomas lost everything. His job, his savings. He tried to start a small business with Jade, but she was unstable, and he couldn't do anything without me. The business failed. Debts piled up. They fought constantly. One night, he hit her. When she attempted suicide, he was the one who found her, carried her, screaming, to the hospital. That night changed him. He tried to move on, but no one wants a man who betrayed his wife with her niece. He took up jobs: window cleaner, night guard, street vendor. He sometimes slept in his car, ate cold food, lived with shame as his only companion. It took time, months of silence, emptiness, but I learned to breathe again, to walk alone, to laugh again. I went back to school. I traveled. I loved again, but never without caution. It wasn't just a card. It was the summary of a shattered life. Before it arrived, I had already heard about him, through friends, by chance, and what I learned chilled me. Thomas had lost everything. He tried to rebuild something with Jade. It ended in failure, violence, and grief. He wandered, ruined, ashamed, and then one day, a card arrived. Crumpled, old, just one line. I pay every day for betraying you. I'm sorry. I stared at it, then burned it, because forgiveness is not for those who destroy you with full awareness. Today, I stand, tall, at peace, but this isn't a fairy tale. There's no happy ending, just a scar, a long, thin, deep scar, invisible to others. But when I feel every single day when I wake up, I never sought revenge. It came on its own, quiet, unstoppable. Thomas lives alone, ashamed, broke, half-drunk most days. Jade has no future, barely even a present. And me? I rebuilt myself, not because I was strong, but because I had no other choice. I learned to love differently, to trust carefully, and to never, ever ignore warning signs again. If I tell this story today, it's not to scare. It's to say, you can fall, very low. But if you remain silent long enough, karma will speak.